All right, we're back. This is problem 8-1 of the actex. And here we go. We're just going to go for it. All right, it says a wheel is spun with the numbers 1, 2, and 3 appearing with an equal probability of one third. So you get to spin a wheel, and the spin's going to say 1, it's going to say 2, or it's going to say 3. And all three are equally likely. They all have the probability of that. If number 1 appears, so you spun, you get a 1, the player gets a score of 1. And then if the number 2 appears, then the player gets the score number 2. Okay. And if the number 3 appears, then the player gets the score x, where x is a normal distribution or normal random variable with a mean of 3 and a standard deviation of 1. And it says if w represents the player's score on one spin of the wheel, what is the probability of w being less than 1.5? Now, by reading the instructions very, very, very carefully, we know that these scores here is not just w, it's w given n. That we gotta spin it, and then once we spin it, then we know what score we get. Okay, so this is a conditional probability. So for us to find the probability that w is less than equal to 1.5, we have to consider this conditional distribution. And remember, the law of total probability says that we sum up of all of the indices. So I'll say it like this. So the probability of w is really equal to the probability of w given n is equal to 1 times the probability of n equal to 1 plus the probability of w n is equal to 2 times the probability of n is equal to 2 plus the probability of w given n is equal to 3. Okay, so we need to look at that, and we know these conditional probabilities is what we're really looking for, is that these are joints, right? Two conditions are happening at one time, right? So we're looking at when n1 happens, nw1 happens, right? And what that will be. So let's look at this. Let's just look at the first one. What's the probability that w is less than 1.5 when n is 1? So when n is 1, what score do we get for w? The score we get for w is going to be 1. And is 1 less than 1.5? It is. It is at all times. It's always less than 1. So this conditional probability is always going to be completely 100% 1. 100%. So what about this? When n is 2, is our score going to be under 1.5? No, it's not. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. Not at all. It's just not going to be. But what about this? What about when n is 3? What's the probability of w being under 1.5? Well, remember when and I said x here, look at this, wow. When n is 3, it's x, and x is as a standard normal. So let's find that standard normal, right? That standard normal will be the probability of w being less than or equal to 1.5, right? Given it is 3. We already know this probability, it's 1/3, right? Now, x is normal, so let's just go ahead and use that. Expectation, standardize it, right? 1.5 minus 3 divided by 1 squared times 1/3. Well, this is z-score less than negative 1.5 times 1/3. So what is this z-score right here? Right? What is this z-score? Well, just to save myself some time and save you some time, this probability turns to be 0.07, I believe. I believe that's what it was. Yeah. So that's the probability that it will be less than that. So then all we have to do now is just add these up, right? So 1 over 1/3 is just 1/3, right? Which is like 0.333. But we'll just basically 1/3 plus this 0.07 times over 1/3. And it gets you a number, and it's like, I think it's 0.357. I don't know. I don't have the calculator in front of me. But yeah, there you go. So that looks like C, like 36. All right. That's the answer.